All right, everybody, what is cracking today? Oh, let's go. So overall, we want to talk about a couple things. We want to talk about simple investing ideas. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, simple, you're just going to do milquetoast, BS. No, we're going for, well, I want to define simple investing first. I'm a very simple investor. For the most part, 80% of my portfolio is buy and hold multiple stocks and multiple ETFs, right? Now, ETFs are a stock, but I do like to differentiate the two because an ETF is a basket of stocks at the end of the day, whereas a regular individual stock is a company like a Coca-Cola, Citibank, etc. Now, I'm a huge fan of individual stocks. I'm a huge fan of ETFs. So I figure since I love both of them so much, I own both. I have a very diversified portfolio of various ETFs. Not only index ETFs, but I do have covered call ETFs. I've got the works, you know. But primarily the ETF basis that I hold is index based. I don't do anything beyond that. I love international ETFs because it gives me exposure to the global markets. I do believe it's very important to have international exposure. I think that not enough people have international exposure to the point that they would need it. You know, they need it. You need the international exposure, my friends. I'm telling you. I'm not lying. But no, international exposure, at least international exposure to different companies out there, it's a must. It's an absolute must. But yeah, so I wanted to say that simple is not basic. It means rules you can execute consistently. You can automate contributions. You could avoid timing the market. And prefer broad diversification over hot picks. I sleep soundly at night knowing that my portfolio is never going to go to zero. It's never going to go haywire because I'm diversified across the globe, right? You know, I don't have any real estate to worry about because I'm diversified in REITs, and REITs are highly diversified entities to begin with. But I do want to set expectations for long-term thinking and steady habits. Look, your investing habits are very important. Your habits are everything. So if you're constantly dollar cost averaging, which means just you don't time the market, you just add timely contributions into your brokerage account or IRA or whatever you're using. So that way you're constantly in the market, because it's better to be in the market no matter what's going on than out of it. Because if you're holding cash, that's foolishness. Holding cash, in my opinion, is foolish. This is not financial advice, by the way. Just want to say that right now. Quick disclaimer, not financial advice, for educational and entertainment purposes only, but these are my philosophies, and that's about it. All right? OMG. Michael Broggins put I'm reading the chat, and Michael Broggins put all of his money into Beanie Babies. What a beast. What a beast, dude. Now, Labubu's, I want to just say Labubu's and Beanie Babies are not an investment. I want to make that very clear. Labubu's are not an investment, all right? They are a collectible, and collectibles come and go. Just like Beanie Babies. Beanie Babies were collectibles, and they come and go. So keep that in mind, my brony brothers. How many of you guys in the chat are bronies? Just say aye. Aye. I bet all you guys are brony brothers. I'm feeling it. I feel the brony energy right now. I bet everybody in the chat's a brony. I ain't listening to anything, man. I'm focusing. I'm staying focused, my brony brother. Can we focus? So, one of the main principles, one of the main ideas that I love to live by is pay yourself first. It basically auto transfers on payday beat willpower. So you could set a fixed percentage to investments before spending, and then basically even like Robinhood or Charles Schwab or even your 401k can do automatic contribution, automatic transferal from the bank or even paycheck, depending on how you have it set up. I do want to mention that escalating contributions annually, like 1% to 2%, to harness raises without lifestyle creep. Anyway, the whole point I'm trying to make is that automated deposits into your brokerage. So from your checking account to your brokerage, you can set up automatic. You can set the frequency too. You can set it up to be bi-weekly, monthly, weekly. It just depends on your preference, right? So pay yourself first is probably the first and foremost principle that you should know. And investing is a way of paying yourself first. Investing is a way of paying yourself first. I want that to be very, very clear. You're so fine, lose my mind, and the world seems to disappear. All around us, all our fears. Now, here's another thing. Now, do you want to have one fund or a 3-fund core? Now, here's me personally. I think if you're just starting in investing, I think you should start slow. Don't dive head deep into all these different penny stocks. That's one of the mistakes I made. And when I first invested, I had no guiding principles. I just kind of got in. But I am glad I got in, though. I don't regret losing a little bit of money on penny stocks because it was kind of like an eye-opening moment that I didn't understand how to invest. That was huge. The moment I didn't understand how to invest was the moment I realized that I needed to learn from people who did it better than me, who do it better than me. And if I could figure out who's doing it better than me, I'm in, man. So there's the 1-fund or the 3-fund core. Now, you could do a total market index 1-fund versus the classic 3-fund, which the classic 3-fund is like the U.S. total stock, the international total stock, and then the total bond. You could keep it allocation first, fund brand, kind of like, fund brand agnostic, I guess. You don't have to be part of the Vanguard or the SPY, you know what I mean, or the Spider ones. I do want to emphasize, though, low fees matter so much. I just spittled on my mic. But low expense ratio fees are a good thing. Tax efficiency matters. It's not my tax efficiency is not my end-all, be-all, though. I just want to invest. I prefer to receive dividends. That's my main thing. But I also do love swing trading quite a bit. So I swing trade the VT and the SBIT. But I only swing trade 20% of my portfolio. 80% of it's forever buy and hold. But yeah, no, I can emphasize to you low fees. The low fees matter. But yeah, there's also simple allocation by risk. I could let you know about this is like age, risk-based ranges, stuff like that, higher stock percentage when young, add bonds for stability. Look, I don't even really like bonds because they're just not inflation-proof because the dollar sucks. So you're kind of losing out on inflation if you're heavy on bonds. So I don't know. I prefer to just be heavily diversified. I love the VT, though. VT's fantastic. I'm a huge Vanguard Total World Index fan, especially for swing trading. I can't emphasize how much I love it. I'm going to look at the comments real quick. One of the mistakes, did you see Wolf of Wall Street? Garza needs more lewds. Yeah, penny stocks are not the way to go, man. I mean, unless you here's the thing. Penny stocks are definitely kind of like a lotto ticket, pretty much a form of gambling. And I'm not saying you shouldn't get into a penny stock if something interests you. I'm just saying don't put your entire net worth into it. I think that's stupid. But, talk to a financial advisor. Maybe there's a financial advisor dumb enough to actually recommend that. But, yeah, I don't know. I put my money into penny stocks. I actually have ChatGPT look into potential penny stocks that'll blossom into great companies, you know? And I take a risk, obviously. There's no guarantee that the company I put $5 into is going to go up like crazy. There's no guarantee of that. But it's fun to do. I love, putting down $5 here, $5 there, and seeing what happens. Because if I'm right, I'm right big. If I'm wrong small. So it's kind of a win-win situation, And my dividends pay off any losses technically, so that's kind of the big deal. I will say, using ChatGPT to find penny stocks is kind of fun. I have a good time with it. But like I said, I only put down like $5, on a penny stock that I think could blossom based on ChatGPT's recommendations. I don't think you should go with ChatGPT's recommendations. I think you should talk to an actual financial advisor. But, whatever. Let's see. There's also dollar cost averaging, DCA, is the short acronym. So we were talking about a little bit of dollar cost averaging before, but I kind of want to elaborate a little further on dollar cost averaging. So I want to explain that there's smoothing volatility with regular buys, right? So like, for instance, if the market is down or the market is up, it doesn't really matter. You're just trying to stay into the market. So dollar cost averaging reduces decision stress and keeps you in the market. I want to also note that lump sum versus DCA trade-offs, but I want to keep this big takeaway: consistent contributions win for behavior, right? It's just the way it goes. Now, I personally, I love investing as much as possible. So Dog Eat Dog is saying, sell me this pen, Garza. Oh, God. We're not doing Wolf of Wall Street, Brony. Makesh is asking any opinion on stablecoin. All crypto is cryptocurrency. I repeat, all crypto, even if it's a stablecoin, is garbage. It doesn't really matter. Cryptocurrency sucks. It's the biggest Ponzi of all time. And I love betting against Bitcoin. Moving on. There are some guardrails, though. There's fees, taxes, and behavior, okay? Look, expense ratios do matter. You do want to pay attention to that. Because with expense ratios, let's say the expense ratio is 0.03%, right? Well, if for every $10,000 you put into that fund, $3 of that goes to keeping the fund's lights on, basically. Now, you don't have to directly pay them this money. Any amount that is invested, 0.03% of all amounts invested go to the fund staying operational, which makes sense to me. The fund can't just do this for free, which I completely get it. But also, they don't have to manage it very much, so it's very easy for them to keep the expense ratios low. Because all they're doing is basically indexing a bunch of stocks. Majority of the time, if it's a low expense ratio index fund, that's all they're doing is they're indexing the stocks. They're not doing anything fancy. They're not buying and selling rapidly. You can buy and sell an index ETF just for fun. That's what I like to do. But I don't know. That's why I do it. You can also do a 15-minute annual checklist, once per year, confirm allocation drift, rebalance if, you're outside of the bands, bump auto contribution, insanity. Check your goals, keep goals. If you, I don't ever expect to beat the market. I just want to have gains. Obviously I want to have big gains. Like I said, 20% of my portfolio is intentionally swing traded so I can get income off of that. I only swing trade 2 ETFs, and that's the ETF. One of the ETFs is SBIT, which is the ProShares short Bitcoin ETF, and then the other is the Vanguard Total World Index. Those are my 2 favorite ones to swing trade. I love them. I can't get enough, What do you guys think, though? Are you guys big fans of dollar cost averaging and basic long-term investing? Because I think that the biggest deal here is I don't know. I mean, I don't like to overcomplicate my investing strategies. I mean, a lot of my investing strategies I kind of learned from Monopoly. Oddly enough, because in Monopoly, you're trying to buy up all the properties, as many as you can at least, and then you're basically holding on to the properties. You never want to sell the properties. You want to hold. If you have to mortgage them. That's fine. But the goal of Monopoly is to hold all your properties and try to take over the board as best as possible. Obviously, stocks are different. You're not trying to take over an entire company. So the best part of diversification is you're not only do you own this company here, you own this company here, you own this company here. And being a minority shareholder means you're hands off. I prefer to be hands off on my portfolio, if we're going to be honest. I like to be involved in my portfolio, but I'm fairly hands off with it. The only thing I'm hands on with are just 2 ETFs, and that's the Vanguard Total World Index and SBIT. Other than that, I'm pretty hands off, dude. I'll check the market occasionally and be like, oh, hey, there's a little opportunity for me to make a short amount of money. And, yeah. But, yeah, I'm a huge fan of swing trading. And honestly, swing trading an ETF like the VT is very fun for me. I just don't see any other way, man. I love swing trading. And there's nothing overly complicated about swing trading principles, which is great. You're really just in the way that I swing trade is I don't buy into the momentum. I sell my way through the momentum, and then if I run out of VT, then I just buy more VT. I buy like maybe 5 shares, and then just kind of work from there. If it starts dipping, I start buying more on the dip because this is obviously I love buying the entire world market on the dip. Why wouldn't I? I think it's foolish not to buy the entire world market on the dip, because the VT literally covers the globe. I mean, 60% of the Vanguard Total World Index is legitimately the entire U.S. market, stock market, and 40% of it is several different international companies. So having that allocation all in one ETF means that you can successfully buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high. It may take a little bit of time. Let's say there's a bear market for a while. That can happen. So, I mean, people got to consider that too. And the more diversified the product, I mean, the less volatile it is. It can still be volatile. But for instance, it's not going to crash as hard as some other indexes. But the diversification is kind of a security blanket overall. But yeah, if the VT is crashing, man, I'm buying it. I'm buying the Vanguard Total World Index if it crashes. Whenever it does, I think that's the smartest thing I can. But yeah, make sure you guys, if you can, hit the subscribe button for me. The more subscribers we get, the better. So we're really trying to up that subscriber count. So right there, hit that subscribe button. Yeah. We're currently at 6,225 subscribers. Can you speak Netherlands? I do not know the Netherlands language. Sorry about that. I just don't, my brony brother. William is wondering why there's no crap on my face. Well, this is my normal stream, man. I'll be drinking some decaf coffee here in a second. Roman, what up, my brony brother, dude? I know you were gifted a membership, and I'm very happy that you're a member, my man. Hey, pretty good. Just trying to make sure I'm answering all the members. How are you, man? No, it's okay, man. I know what you meant. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, bro? My brony brother. The bronies. Hey, that's okay. Are you typing on a phone or are you typing on a keyboard? By the way, can I just say, speaking of keyboards, do they... I got to look this up. Do they still make slide-out keyboard phones? Because I want the slide-out keyboards back. Slide-out keyboard smartphones. If those exist, I mean, I might buy one if it's new. But yeah, I would love a slide-out keyboard phone that has Android ready and raring. That's what I want. I'm a big fan of those slide-out keyboard phones, and I wish to see them make a comeback. Those legitimately are my favorite phones. I always thought they were the coolest thing in the world. I still do. I would love to see a more modern phone. Ooh, there's one called the Titan 2. Interesting. Physical keyboards are back in 2020. Unihertz. Let's see. Oh my goodness. They even have old phones on here. This is awesome, man. Oh, wow, the classic Motorola Droid slide out. Damn, dude. These are antiques. I'm looking at some really antique phones right now on the shopping page on Google. I just looked up slide out keyboard smartphones, and I don't think they really make any for the modern day. Let me see here. Titan 2, I think, was one of the ones that they were talking about. Titan 2. That's kind of cool. Is this dude? No way. Yes. I might actually buy this, dude. If it's a good phone. 6 gigabytes plus 100. How do I go to the website though? It's not letting me go to the fucking website. Hold on. Titan 2 smartphone. If it's unlocked, if it's an unlocked phone, no way. So $379, and it has Android on here. Let's take a look at these specs. Roman says, "You remember Miss Elaine, the one?" No, I don't remember her. Okay, so Roman says a few Sundays ago she honked the horn while I was dancing to him. My mom, her laughed. I kicked her car and her justified. I don't know. I mean, is it justified? I have no idea. I mean, I don't believe in harming people's property or harming people in general. It is, I mean, she honked the horn while I was dancing to the hymn. I don't know what that means. But, were you dancing in the street or something? What were you doing? I mean, if you're dancing in the street, then get off the freaking street, dude. Tim Smith says, I invested in a local private company that crossbreeds different species of animals. Hello, Ligers, Liger, hashtag Liger bull market. Do you seriously? Really? So my boy Tim Smith invested in a company local to him. Really? So it's like a private company, I'm assuming, a local private company, like you said. How much did it cost to invest? Do they allow any amount? Do you invest $1,000, $500? Was there a minimum investment requirement? Because I've never invested in a private company. I've always invested in publicly traded companies. So I've never got into the private market at all. So I'm kind of curious. I was thinking about, because we do have Seven Devils, and it's a brewing company, and I think they're a pretty good company. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of them, but I was thinking about investing in them if they had like, I don't know what it would take to become a shareholder in Seven Devils or a private company, but it'd be fun to. I mean, they have a lot of yuppies that go there, so I figure they're always. I mean, alcohol's an addicting product, so like, I invest in publicly traded alcohol companies anyway, so it would be interesting to invest in a local company. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think I should invest in Seven Devils? Actually, let me look at their website. I wonder if they actually do allow people to just willy-nilly invest. Seven Devils invest. Interesting. So I went to the Seven Devils Brewery website, and it says 2025 investor pint, $150. Well, folks, it's that time of year again. Invest $150 in Seven Devils and receive weekly liquid. Wow. Okay. This is actually kind of funny. Hold on. I don't know how real this is. I mean, this is on the Seven Devils Brewery website. Let me show you guys real quick. What I'm talking about. One moment. So here it is. So this is the 2025 investor pint, $150. So, well, folks, that time of year again, invest $150 in Seven Devils and receive weekly liquid dividends. Dividends. Okay, but it's liquid dividends. So what does that mean? It means I get free beer. Okay. So this is what I don't want to promote this because I'm not sure if I want to buy this, but this is for educational purposes only. Yeah, Roman, I see your chat. So she scared you when you were minding your business. You were dancing in the park, and yeah, I saw the chat. Yeah, well, I mean, it sucks that she did that, but Dog Eat Dog says he's been in the privates markets though. Have you thought about? No, I'm not doing that, but no, this is interesting. So Seven Devils, and I'm just curious about this more than anything. I'm not promoting this. So let's see. With an iPint card, you'll be entitled to. Oh wow. Okay, that's kind of cool. Wow. All right. So I'm not going to read off the whole thing, but well, I'm going to read. I'm going to summarize it real quick. Let's see. Huh. Okay. So that's kind of interesting. So I could go in each week and get a free groundswell to one per customer. Okay. Interesting. So if I buy an investor pint, I can get a weekly. I can go to Seven Devils weekly and get a groundswell. So I don't know if that would really pay. Well, let's see. I guess thinking about this real quick. So as an investor, I'd be able to get a groundswell every. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to invest, I guess, in the sense that it helps keep the musicians coming in and playing at Seven Devils, and it prevents having a cover fee to get in, which is kind of cool. Interesting. So you're not really, this is kind of an unorthodox investment. So let's see, a groundswell is about $7 to $8. So let's do some quick math. Could I take advantage of this? Let's bust out the calculator. So if the groundswell is about $7 or $8 a pint, and I get one, and I can only get one per week gratis with my iPint card. All right, so. Oh, wow. Okay, that would actually be well worth it, because if I can get a groundswell every week, because that would cost $416 per year if I was to go in for a weekly groundswell. See, this is why I don't drink beer. I mean, I drink energy drinks, don't get me wrong, but at least they get me caffeinated and focused, But yeah, I think so in a weird way, you're not really investing in Seven Devils. You're kind of taking from Seven Devils. Let me read this through. Weekly liquid dividends. So with an iPint card, you'll be entitled to one iPint of any draft beer. Okay, it has an asterisk next to that. What's the asterisk mean? Now, we're almost at the end of 2025, so me getting into this now is kind of pointless. There's no reason for me to get into this. But if I wanted to, once 2026 hit, I could buy this. Wow. So I can get basically it kind of pays for itself in a lot of ways. I'm getting the groundswell at an even more reduced price than usual. That's amazing. So each week, for a whole year. Oh, wow. And then the stouts and barrel-aged beer will be available at 50% discount. That's kind of cool. I just want to say that none of this is, this is more of a curiosity thing for me personally. I just figure while I was live streaming, I might as well look into this. Interesting. I'm wondering if I should get into that. The weekly liquid dividend. Seven Devils is really cool, though. They're a great restaurant. They're a great brewery. I like Seven Devils personally. I think that they're pretty neat. The weekly dividends thing, though, I think it's kind of the weekly liquid dividends. I think that is kind of funny. But yeah, I was gonna say I might. Considering I don't go there very often, but I do walk around and I live pretty close there. I think it's not bad, man. They call me witty. P. Diddy. It's kind of cool, man. Seven Devils has been around for a while. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of cool. Now, back to the Unihertz Titan 2. I was going to go over that real quick. Dog eat doggy. What's going on? I've lost control of the chat, but was it justified, though? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know if it was justified what she did to you in the park. I don't think it's nice, but whatever. Doggy Dog says Garza treats us different when we have company. Wants us to cover the bruises. Yes, that's funny. So I don't know. I'm contemplating in my mind if I should go for that investor card when 2026 arrives. You know, I mean, it's $150, and that's. If I were to go in once a week, all I'd have to do is once a week, 52 weeks or in a year. Basically, I get groundswell guaranteed once a week. Once a week, I would be getting a groundswell. How cool would that be? So I did my girl math on it, and it looks pretty dope. Now, the Titan 2, I want to kind of go over this real quick. Let's go over the Titan 2. Let's see. The Titan 2 is the latest 5G QWERTY physical keyboard smartphone. Oh, wow. It even has a clock on the back. How cool is that, dude? Looks like a pretty fat phone, though. Would it fit in my pocket is the question. It looks like it's an Android base. That's kind of neat. So you got kind of a 3D view of it. That's pretty cool. Leather hoister. Hell yeah. Oh, it's powered by Android 15. Heck yeah. Look at that. Pretty dope, man. Hell yeah. Hey, thank you, Chill Toad, for the Sunday. Yum, yum. I appreciate it. But yeah, thank you for the jewels. So Dog Eat Dog says, I hate that phone for real. Chill Toad says, lit. I like the full keyboard. Yeah, exactly. I think the full keyboard concept's really cool. Oh, they have a video. Let's take a look at the video. Let's see if let's see what we get. All right, you guys, prepared to be blown away. This looks really cool. I mean, I'm a nerdy guy, and I love slide out keyboards. Yoggers is back, dude. Dude, by the way, everybody, let's give a shout out for Yoggers. We haven't seen you in a while, Yoggers. How you doing, bro? Dude, my man. My man Yoggers Farm is in the frickin' house, brothers. My brony brothers. Yoggers Farm says, hey, lover boy, what up, dude? And Chill Toad says, I like the full-out keyboard. Exactly, dude. That's the best part. Doggy dog, why do you hate that phone, dude? It's freaking full-out keyboard, bro. Garza, goddamn. Oh, man, but thank you for the Sunday, Chill Toad. I appreciate the 100 jewels. And the Sunday. Yum, yum. I'm going to try to be like those e-girls on TikTok. Yum, yum. Let's watch this video, though.
What's the big deal with the Titan 2? Oh, you mean the next generation of Unihertz QWERTY smartphones? With that tactile feeling you love? You want to know the big deal? We'll tell you. The Titan 2 asks, how can you move forward without looking back?
Interesting. So how can you move forward without looking back? I mean, I love the look of this phone. It's very square. It reminds me kind of like those old school Blackberries a little bit. You know, you guys remember the Blackberries? I'm such an old fucking man, dude. I love the slide out keyboards, dude. I'm all about that life. Yager says, I'm absolutely great. I've wondered about you. Hell yeah, dude. I've just been streaming a lot lately and, you know, just doing this show as much as possible and, you know, just trying to grow the audience a little bit. I'm at 6,200 something amount of subs, but dude, I'm just glad to see you, Mr. Yuggers. Because I've been wondering where you've been. Like, I'm just like, oh, maybe Yoggers is, you know, I think Yoggers, I was thinking to myself, I was like, Yoggers probably takes a few breaks here and there from the YouTubes, which is a healthy thing to do, by the way. I think taking a break from the YouTube is a good thing. I really do. Sometimes I need to take a break from consuming YouTube content, but Yoggers has got to run. Hey, miss you, brother. I miss you, man. It's good to see you, even for a second. No, I remember your name's Jim, bro. I remember. I just love calling you Yoggers. I don't know. I think Yoggers, oddly enough, rolls off the tongue. I mean, a Jim rolls off the tongue too, but like, I just love saying the word Yoggers. I think I'm obsessed with your last name, dude. You got like the coolest fucking last name. So my boy Jim from Yoggers Farm, but I still love saying, I prefer to just call you Mr. Yoggers, but I'm a weird guy. But I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, Mr. Jim. Oh, man. A Jimmy rolls on your Chill Toad, I appreciate that, Sunday. Let's keep watching this video.
Brand new design featuring a beautiful subscreen while keeping a classic aesthetic. It's a big deal because it has big features. Powered by Android 15, the Titan 2 has everything you love, like our signature tactile QWERTY keyboard, allowing for the fastest and most intuitive typing yet. And those keys can be programmed into shortcuts, so you can switch between all your favorite apps in a flash.
Hey guys, so today we'll be meal prepping.
And with all new 5G capabilities, your world just got bigger.
Hey, you're gonna be late. On my way.
Because when you're on the move, you need a phone that gets things done. Stay on top of business with the Titan 2's pro features such as Bluetooth, NFC, an infrared port, and GPS.
It's got all the basic features. That's good. It seems like it's a pretty full... It seems like it's a full-out phone. It's got Android 15, which is exactly what I want. It's got... I don't know how often it's upgraded, though. That's the thing. Like, how often is it upgraded is the major question here. And, yeah, if you can upgrade the Android operating system frequently, like, how long-term are a lot of the updates? Because if it's one of those things where it doesn't update very often, it's like, what the hell is the point, you know?
With Titan 2, you can take the weight of the world on your shoulders with ease. From French to Japanese to German, the Titan 2 supports multiple languages. And with dual SIM card access, you can keep a number strictly for business or for fun. Unlock your phone with fingerprint ID or the Face ID and get to access a big and powerful camera with a 50 megapixel rear camera,
It's kind of cool.
32 megapixel front camera, and even a brand new telephoto lens. You'll get to relive all your greatest memories through the 4.5-inch LCD screen. And with a battery that...
Now, the question I have is it technically better than the Google Pixel 8? That's my question. And I don't know. The Pixel 8 Pro is pretty good. I just don't know if this phone is going to measure up. I am curious, though, to see what the reviews say. I mean, this phone right here has been... I'm not going to lie. The Google Pixel 8 Pro has been a godsend. It's been incredible. It's one of the best, man. Let's see. But yeah, overall, I mean, would I buy the Titan 2? I mean, like, if I had disposable income, I might buy it as a backup phone. I mean, it looks like it would be great as a backup phone, straight up. But honestly, because I do so many advanced things, with the Google Pixel 8 Pro is probably far more advanced than the Titan 2, as much as I want a slide-out keyboard, and by golly, I do. By golly, I do. I want a slide-out keyboard so bad. At the same time, though, I mean, I'll tell you this. If Google Pixel ever came out with a slide-out keyboard phone, I'd buy it in a heartbeat.
Lasts all day and plenty of storage. The good times will never end. So, what's the big deal with the Titan 2? It's a phone that combines the best of both worlds in form and function, delivering vintage appeal and modern sensibilities. It's the phone that can move forward and look back. That sounds like a deal you just can't pass up.
I'll call you back.
Titan 2. Pre-order yours today.
I'll say this. It does look like a pretty advanced phone. And it looks like it can do... I'm kind of curious to see what this reviewer says.
Best Buy has...
And this review is from 4 months ago, too. So let's take a look here.
Titan 2, the latest physical keyboard smartphone from the guys over at Unihertz. A lot of significant upgrades here that make it a lot more viable. Just to let you know, it's in Kickstarter right now. I've got a link in the description for that. It's not an affiliate, just pointing you to where you can go. If you want to get in on the ground level, it's like $271 to back it. They're supposed to start shipping in October, but it's way better than the first one, and I gotta commend them on that. They've made some substantial improvements here, and let's talk about them. Say hello to the Unihertz Titan 2, the latest from the guys at Unihertz. It is their new version and is significantly improved in a lot of ways over the original Titan. Now, this is under Kickstarter right now. You can fund it. You can pick one up basically for like $271, which I think is a very fair price for what you're getting here. And it's got the physical keyboard. It's got a big IR blaster on top of it. There's no headphone jack, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of the specs real quick. We'll go...
I will say the one thing I like about this is I love the square screen. It's pretty wide screen too. I will say it doesn't look like it would fit in your pocket very well. I mean, if it's small enough, it might be able to fit in your pocket. See, that's the thing. That's the only problem with this. It does look like a BlackBerry. Like, that's the one thing I can say is BlackBerry always... I never owned a BlackBerry, but the BlackBerry did have a certain appeal. And this looks like one of those phones that you could maybe, if you have big enough pockets, put it into the side of your pocket somehow. How would you do it? I don't know. You might be able to.
And take a look at this, and then I'll let you know my thoughts on it because I've been using it for about 24 hours at this point. So, yeah, inside the box, I already took the plastic wrap off of the phone, so let's get that out of there. But it does have some paperwork in here. You got your user guide, you got your warranty guide, and then it comes with a charger, which, I mean, it's always nice to have, right? So you got a power brick inside here. It's 33 watts. That's fine. You got a SIM ejector tool, and then we've got this USB-C to USB-C cable, so that way you can charge it. It does charge with USB-C. So that is all nice. Like I said, there's not really a whole lot here. Let me get this out of the way, and we can take a look at the...
It's an interesting phone so far. I mean, the one thing I can say about it is the screen looks pretty good. I mean, the quality of the screen itself looks good. It looks like a very modern interface. The fact that it's got Android 15, my only concern, one of the reasons why I went with the Pixel 8 Pro specifically, was because there was a guaranteed, like I wouldn't say guaranteed, but they could promise from Google that there would be 7 years worth of updates, right? So basically I'm getting updates until 2030. It's based on when the phone was manufactured, essentially, overall. So I'm getting updates, I think, hold on. Yeah, I'm getting updates until about 2030. So I got 5 years worth of updates. So security updates, all that stuff. So that's one of the big reasons I'm very much about cybersecurity in my operating system, so I like to make sure that, like, Windows is a good operating system, but even though it's good, I still like to have a good firewall, so I'm all about, like, Bitdefender is my firewall / antivirus / anti-malware. I even have Bitdefender on this phone that I have currently, and yeah, I'm a huge Bitdefender guy. I love Bitdefender. In fact, I can't love it enough, is really the thing. So I'm a huge fan of it overall. Yeah. Let's see here. Give me 1 second, though. I got to check something here on the stream itself. Give me 1 second, though. I got to check something here on the stream itself. Man, the audio sounds so clear. So I found out one of the main problems I had, even though by the way, this is a fun fact, the cord that I was using kind of sucked. And so I actually got a full out cord. I even made it towards a dedicated, like, mini USB hub cord for the Yeti Blue microphone. Some technical jargon right here. But I also found out the wireless router, because it's right behind the computer, was causing some interference. So, because it would broadcast wirelessly and stuff like that. So what I did was I ended up moving the wireless router way over there to my left, and I don't hear any interference. It's great. So it doesn't interfere with the computer. It doesn't interfere with the wire, because it was, like, right next to the actual wire itself. And I also had to get a new Ethernet cable, because the other Ethernet cable I had is good. It worked, but this is far more consistent. It's a newer Ethernet cable, whereas the one I had was like 10 years old. I was like, this one's been crinkled and garbled. I'm going to get a new one. So Ethernet cables are fairly cheap, too, if you get them from Walmart, because I got mine for like $7.49 for a 14-foot, Ethernet cable. Plugged it right into my router, and everything's good. But, it's one of those things. Let's see. But yeah, thank you guys for subscribing, by the way. I see that we got new subscribers, so I appreciate that big time. Let's see what else we got here. There is actually one adjustment I need to make, and it's on Stream Chat Ninja, because if I can make this adjustment, this would, like, save me so much time. So, by the way, even though I'm kind of looking this over a little bit, 1 second. I got to look over some settings. But yeah, the Titan 2, I got to admit, the Unihertz Titan 2, it looks like a really cool phone, and honestly, it's affordable enough to where, like, it would make for a good backup phone, straight up. And would I want to use it for everything? I mean, I think it'd be kind of tough for gig work, I prefer, honestly, I do love the Pixel 8 Pro, and as much as I romanticize about having a QWERTY keyboard phone, a physical keyboard phone like that one, I mean, I'd have to be doing really well in life. You know what I mean? I'd have to be like making tons of money on my investments to where I could have a phone like that. Having a Pixel 8 Pro, though, allows me to run my business a lot better. It's just a guaranteed good phone. And here's the thing I'm curious about. You know, Google's a big company, whereas Unihertz is kind of a smaller one, and I can't guarantee they're always going to come up with security patches and updates for this phone, as well as a big brand like Google. So on the cybersecurity aspect of it, I am more, what's the term? I'm more comfortable with a Pixel 8 Pro just because of the software security backing of it. Would I love a physical slide-out keyboard? Oh my God, yes, I would. I would love it if the Pixel 8 Pro was kind of like a BlackBerry. That'd be awesome. Like, I will say, if Google actually put out a product like the Titan 2, I'd probably be one of the first to buy it. If we're gonna be completely honest, I'd probably be one of the first people to buy it, without a doubt. I'm trying to style the font size a little bit lower. Rounded edges, align comment to the top. Reduce. Interesting, so I could reduce the font size if it gets too long. Interesting. Okay, how do I lower the font size, though? So I could do the font coloring, but how do I... Oh, I could do a fade in and out instead. That'd be kind of cool. Let's do fade in and out effects. That sounds neat. What else we got? Yeah, you know, I never really took the time to look at the mechanics of the Social Stream Ninja functionality itself. This is really cool. Scale multiplier. I don't know what that really means. Ugh. Let's see here. I will admit, you guys, Social Stream Chat Ninja can be very complex. It's a little bit interesting. By the way, anybody who wants a bit of a leg up in highlighting comments the way that I highlight comments, dude, Social Stream Chat Ninja is incredible. It's unbelievable. It's probably one of the best. Dude, my cupboard handles, by the way, being diagonal, that's pretty cool. It's kind of unique, man. I like it. It kind of gives like an old school style. I don't know. I haven't seen many cupboard handles in a diagonal fashion. Usually they're not, but it's kind of cool. I like it. You know, the only thing I can say that kind of pisses me off about this is it doesn't really give me the ability to reduce the font size on here. scale multiplier. Let's see. What is a scale? I'm going to look up something. How do I reduce the font size in Social Stream Ninja featured chats? Oh. Well, that's interesting. Very cool. So I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to paste it into the browser code. Give me a second, you guys. We're on to something. We're doing an experiment. I want to see what happens if I want to see to what level can I reduce the font size. This is where it gets very fascinating, man. Social Stream Chat Ninja, man, is pretty cool. So then copy session, rounded 10 and line fade, and let's add the code. Font size, let's do 70%, I guess. Would be an interesting one. We'll do a font size, we'll do 70, I think. So if we do that, could I lower the font size is the major question. Can I lower it even further? I guess we can. We could do it to maybe 50%. We could do 50%. I don't see why not. All we have to do is just plug it into the URL here as one of the parameters. We go to font size 50. How low can we go, though? That's the major question. What happens if we go to 30? Yeah, I don't know if that font size adjustment really works. I'll have to go back and... Okay, so we'll do that, and then let's see. I think that what I could do is split mode, scale multiplier. I don't even know what that does. What is this? What does scale multiplier do? Let's see what that does. Multiplier. Social. Don't know if I want to do that. Let's see. Split mode, raise, overlay, higher. Well, so I think I figured it out. I think I kind of figured something out here. So we're going to try something real quick and see what the result ends up being, you know. Well, shucks. See, I'm trying to fit an emoji into this, but at the same time, it's like, what am I doing here? Well, I'm not too sure on this one, so we'll try to readjust a couple things. I got to admit, it is kind of fun to tool around with the with Social Stream Ninja. It's really an amazing program. Like, kudos to the developer of this program, man. It's wild. So we don't necessarily need to reduce the font size. Yeah, I can adjust the URL on this for sure. Yeah, pretty cool though. I'll adjust something a little bit later. I'm not gonna totally fret on it, but I think I'm gonna try it without the emoji on there. Just for readability purposes, I do want to experiment with that. You know, I will say, when it comes to like live streams and stuff like that, call to action is crazy important. Like, I don't think people emphasize that enough on the importance of call to action on anything. Like, it's encouraging people to do something on a chat. It's pretty fun. I got to admit. But yeah, no, that Titan 2 phone, I mean, here's the thing. I think my problem is, like, how often will it get updated? So, like, if I go to the Titan, like, if I look up more on this Titan 2 phone, so if I compare, I'm going to have AI do the comparison real quick. So here's the thing, though. It says the Unihertz Titan 2 offers limited software support and is a niche productivity-focused device, whereas the Pixel 8 Pro is a flagship phone with the best-in-class software update policy. That's the thing. Like, I'm all about, like, cybersecurity. So, like, I love the fact that the Pixel 8 Pro tends to have monthly updates. In fact, I think if I don't even know if I've updated my phone this month. Usually it's pretty automatic, though. But like, for instance, I can check right now in my settings, is there an update for my phone? And we know that Google is the best in class. Like, this is one of the reasons why I have a Pixel 8 Pro, because of this cybersecurity. Now, comparatively, does it have the best hardware compared to Samsung or the iPhone? Probably not. But it's comparable, though. It doesn't have to have the best hardware, as long as the operating system itself is, optimized for the hardware itself. So that's a big deal. So it looks like I already got the October update, but it says the system's up to date, but I'm going to check for updates real quick. Yep, system is up to date. I'm on Android version 16. I got the latest October security update. So yeah, like, the thing is that Google constantly, and they're going to promise up to 7 years of updates from the year and the month that the phone was manufactured. So I'm basically getting updates until 2030 for this phone. As long as I can make sure that I charge it up to 80% to preserve battery life, I can keep this phone working probably all the way up to 2030 until I eventually have to upgrade to another phone. But yeah, the whole goal is to have, because, like, look, hackers are getting more and more clever every day, and also with the use of AI, hackers have been using AI to come up with different ways to hack devices. So it's like, you want to make sure that you're having the latest security, you have good firewalls. Yeah, so I'm going to be able to get, I'm going to be able to make sure that this is a functional phone all the way until 2030. I mean, how cool is that? And I should be able to get updates all the way up to Android 21. Like I said, also there's going to be security patches, different updates that fix any little issues here and there. So that's the big deal. Like, out of the box, I'm constantly getting updates from this. So the thing about OS upgrades, I mean, with the Titan 2, it's saying that it's expected to receive at least 2 Android OS upgrades. It does ship with Android 15. It is promised up to Android 17, but the timeline may be slow and infrequent. But like I said, Pixel 8 Pro guarantees 7 years of OS upgrades. So that's pretty neat. Security updates would be like Unihertz's past track record suggests infrequent security patches. Some users are skeptical about the company's formal commitment through recent EU regulations, might push for 5 years of updates in Europe. But yeah, Pixel 8 Pro guaranteed 7 years of monthly security updates all the way through 2030. It's a huge deal, man. It's a big deal. But yeah, anyway, so general support also, so for the Titan 2, software support is generally a weak point for Unihertz, with an emphasis on new product releases over long-term updates for existing models. Also, I will say with Google, because it is a bigger company, the Google Pixel 8 Pro offers a solid, Google themselves offers a gold standard support lifecycle with updates and new features delivered consistently over the years. So that's a big deal. Now, I'm all about functionality overall in security. So functionality and security matter to me. One of the reasons I went with Google Pixel 8 Pro is it doesn't need to be the fastest phone because I know exactly what I'm doing with my phone. I'm not doing anything super high end with it. I'm just using it for, doing DoorDash stuff, doing other little things here and there. And that's the point. But yeah, for example, let's compare some of the features. So one of the primary features for the Titan 2 is the physical QWERTY keyboard and the unique square display. With the Google Pixel 8 Pro, it's got a top-tier camera system, has Google AI features and a large, high refresh rate OLED display. Like I said, the one thing that attracts me to the Titan 2 and the reason that I'm comparing the two phones is simple. As much as I love my Google Pixel 8 Pro, the Titan 2 is very tempting in the sense that I always wanted to own a BlackBerry, but I also love the physical keyboard feel. And at the same time, it's like, I don't use my phone as much as I use my laptop or my desktop computer. So having a Titan 2 is not necessarily a necessity. And this honestly does everything I want it to do. The Pixel 8 Pro is honestly one of the best. So the processor for the Titan 2 is a mid-range MediaTek Dimensity 7300, whereas the Google Pixel 8 Pro is a flagship Google Tensor G3 chip optimized for AI tasks. So it's like these are two phones living in two different worlds. And as much as I love the concept of the Titan 2, is it worth the QWERTY keyboard to downgrade? Because really, if you're getting the Titan 2, since I have the Pixel 8 Pro and I get the Titan 2, that would be a total downgrade. This thing is fast and it's premium. And as much as, like I said, as much as I want that QWERTY keyboard so badly, the physical one, sometimes it's best to just stay with the phone that works. And this phone, it does everything I want it to. And I got it at a pretty good price. And, it's like, that's the thing. It's really, I use this as a business device more than anything. And that's as simple as that. I'm not on this thing 24/7. In fact, if anything, I'm usually working on my desktop computer or working on my laptop. One or the other. I'm not really doing anything too wild. But yeah, it's just it's the way it rolls. Overall, though, I think it's look, if I wanted to just kind of downgrade and kind of dumbify my phone, sure, I wouldn't mind going with this. But at the same time, I am very big on cybersecurity. I want to make sure that if I'm using my phone, it's got the latest security updates. I'm so paranoid. I got Bitdefender on there, man. I even have Bitdefender on my phone, which is wild. But yeah, and then the camera, the camera for the Titan 2. No, sorry, let's go to the design build. Design build compared to the Pixel 8 Pro. So it's got the Titan 2 has a rugged design with a aluminum shell, a secondary rear screen, and no official IP rating. So we don't really know if it can handle a lot of liquid. Whereas the Pixel 8 Pro has premium glass and aluminum build. It's IP68 water dust resistant, which is kind of cool. Which means, I mean, I'm not saying that you should just throw this in the water, but it means if it does go into the water and you get it out in a timely fashion, this thing is still going to work. You want to make sure it's dried out, of course. You want to dry everything, put it in a towel, put it in rice, whatever you got to do. But yeah, this is more likely to survive. And when a phone like this is more likely to survive going in the water or going into anything, that's your best bet, man. But yeah, for the camera though, it's the Titan 2 has a 50 megapixel main camera and a 50 megapixel front camera, considered acceptable but not exactly high end. Now, Google Pixel 8 Pro, on the other hand, it's got advanced multi-camera system with professional modes, superior image processing, and unique features like Magic Editor and Video Boost. So it's like there's a lot going on with the Pixel 8 Pro. Also, it's got, I can't remember exactly how, but the camera is like beyond 50 megapixels. It's crazy. But the battery for the Titan is a large 5050 mAh battery. The Pixel 8 Pro has a 5050, 50,050 mAh battery, but highly optimized for efficiency with the Tensor chip. So you're going to have a more optimized experience with this, whereas you're probably, I don't know, I just think the battery would probably last longer on this, because this is designed to keep optimization intact. Connectivity, it is 5G. So the Titan 2 is 5G capable, with some potential carrier compatibility issues depending on the region. However, the Pixel 8 Pro has full 5G support and an excellent carrier compatibility. I was able, first off, this is an unlocked phone, which is perfect. So I can go to any carrier that I want with this phone. I'm pretty sure that the Titan 2 is also unlocked in general, but there might be some compatibility issues depending on the carrier. But I go through Mint Mobile, for example, and I got to say it was the best decision I ever made. Mint Mobile is crazy good. I just want to tell everybody that right now, man. It's one of my faves, dude. One of my faves. Anyway, so back to what we were trying to originally talk about, because we were talking originally about, investing simplified. I kind of went over the curriculum earlier, but overall, when it comes to investing, man, I like to keep I like to keep it easy. I like to keep it simple. And, I think too many people try to overcomplicate investing, and that's a big deal. You don't want to overcomplicate something like that, man. It's a big deal. Because if you overcomplicate investing, man, you're just kind of, I don't know, I think you're kind of screwing yourself over a little bit, Keeping investing simple is kind of the way to go. At least in my opinion, it's the way to go. I think too many people, if you overcomplicate something, you're really screwing yourself over, is what I'm trying to say. And if you're diversified, if you're just starting out in investing, I kind of envy you a little bit, because if you're learning basic investing principles and you're just starting out, you'll soon find out that diversification early is your key. That getting into highly diversified ETFs very early and dollar cost averaging into those is a huge advantage that you don't realize that you'll have as an investor. But diversification at the end of the day really is a security blanket. Huge in vain. Oh my God. But let's see. But yeah, it's really just kind of security at the end of the day. You want that security. And if you don't have it, man, you feel naked. Yeah, that's where security matters, man. But yeah, another thing is you can do a 15-minute annual checklist as well. So once per year, you can confirm allocation drift, rebalance if it's outside of the bands. I don't really believe in one thing I don't believe in is portfolio weighting. I don't really give a crap about it that much. I do kind of keep an eye on it. But here's the thing, man. If my swing trading is taking up the majority of my portfolio, then that's what it's meant to be. Like if I'm doing really well in the band of swing trading, that's all she wrote, That's the way it goes. And being effective and being smart about it matters, man. And then to those of you who are not really in the realm of swing trading or don't believe in it, or whoever thinks it's like a bad idea, it is something to consider. I think that swing trading is kind of fun. It's a really, in my humble opinion, it's the smartest thing you could do. Not saying that your entire portfolio should be swing traded. On the contrary, I think that only part of it should. Maybe 20 to 30% of it. For instance, the VT that I have in the SBIT, VT and SBIT, these two ETFs, because I swing trade them in a certain way where I buy low on these ETFs and I sell high, I don't know. I just think that it's more likely that Bitcoin will go down than go up. You know what I mean? I think that Bitcoin is more on the decline than it is on the incline. I think that Ponzi schemes like this can be very unpredictable. When I say Ponzi scheme, I mean Bitcoin is a Ponzi. I firmly believe this. And I don't believe in it. People try to convince me that something, you know what I mean? It's like the emperor has no clothes. It's like that old story. Well, Bitcoin has no clothes and it's running around naked. I don't believe in it. I do believe that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme straight up. And people who try to convince me otherwise, I'll listen to you, but I think you're an idiot. I think here's the thing. People who try to convince me that Bitcoin is money, I look at them the same way that I look at a flat earther, right? If you believe the earth is flat and you believe that Bitcoin has intrinsic value, you're the same as a flat earther, whether you realize it or not. Seriously. You're the same as a flat earther at that point to me. You're no different in my mind. Yeah, so to those of you who believe Bitcoin is some sort of saving grace, it's going to save the world or it's going to make a difference, I mean, good luck with that. And good luck with that, bro. Yeah, no, I zone out. I space out. Echo 432. Absolutely. There are times where I'll like if I'm having a little bit of mental fog, which happens from time to time, especially if I'm exhausted mentally, I will zone out. I'll space out. I'll zone out. I'll do what I got to do. But yeah, overall, I think it's a healthy thing to occasionally zone out, to kind of occasionally get lost in your own thoughts. I think it's a good thing. People are so afraid to think these days. It's sad. There's nothing wrong with critical thinking. I think the problem is, some people are just so opposed to it. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, zoning out's a normal thing. I think it's kind of healthy to kind of wander mentally a little bit, from time to time. But, still keep your goals, but still mentally wander. I think that's quite brilliant. That's a good thing. But you can't be on 24/7, Hey, honey. I'm actually at the tail end of the stream, so I'll be done here in a second. But yeah, no, it's, sometimes I space out a little bit from time to time. It's a good thing in a lot of ways, but let's see. Pretty much at the tail end of the stream, but overall, yeah, I mean, if you keep your investing principles pretty simple, I mean, there's nothing really complex about it. I think a lot of the times, if you turn into like CNBC or Fox Business, they tend to make investing seem like it's a gamble. Like, it's like if the market crashes, it's the end of the world. You're screwed. And it's not true. It's not true. In fact, quite the opposite. If you look at the history of institutional investors, what do they do when a market crash happens? They tend to load up on stocks. They tend to load up on these diversified ETFs because they know in their heart of hearts that it's more valuable to own several companies than to own several dollars. The companies themselves are the valuable unit. The dollars themselves are the non-valuable unit. So, it depends on what you're owning. What you're owning, if it has immense intrinsic value and it is immensely productive, this is why I love stocks, is they're immensely productive and they have intrinsic value. That matters so much. But yeah, that's kind of the final note. I mean, don't overcomplicate it. Get diversified early. If you're just starting out, diversify early, and don't overthink it. Don't watch. Honestly, I think watching CNBC is a net negative. I think watching Fox Business is a net negative to your investing, because your investing career, because they're gonna put pessimism in your mind consistently, and I don't even really read a lot of finance news, if we're going to be honest. I'm not going to read Wall Street Journal. It probably helped me out a little bit, but probably not by much. I tend to read books about investing rather than finance articles, because finance articles are just about the temporary news. I think the more intelligent route is to study books on the concept of investing, good investing principles, how to read a balance sheet, how to read financial statements. But you don't even really need to know that in today's age. If you're diversified, you're pretty much good. I mean, you don't even have to think at that point. But either way, keep it simple. There's no need to overcomplicate it. Don't be a gambler. Like, if you feel like you're gambling, you're doing something wrong. And if you act like you're gambling, and if you look at yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm fucking gambling, then remember, buy and hold, breaks the mold. Okay? Simple as that. And then from there, once you have a more established portfolio, you might be able to experiment a little bit. And you might be able to kind of buy a few penny stocks here and there, not like crazy amounts, but if you think that there's a company that's going to blossom into something beautiful, there's no shame in putting down $5 into that, because the worst case scenario, you'll just lose that $5. But, I still don't believe in gambling that much. I'm not much of a gambler. I don't do stuff like that. I do on occasion, but not often, So, anyway, as they say, sometimes slow and steady wins the race, but also slow and steady can be bad. So you still want to swing trade a little bit. 20% of your portfolio, I think, is healthy, but not financial advice, just for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm gonna end this stream. I'm gonna make myself a sandwich and probably drink a little bit of decaf coffee to get myself pumped up, and